not every ear is hearing, listening, not every heart is with us, all of them, everyone is not ready. And this is a burden on awliya that all the hearts, they are not ready. And the ears also, not good ears to listen spiritual teachings, because as the one who is listening from his ego, from himself, from his desires, from his satanic world, cannot reach to his ears the godly, spiritually heavenly teaching, difficult. But we are obliged to what Maulana sending from his station to translate, not for the physical bodies, but for the hearts, for the spiritual bodies, for the ears in the spiritual bodies, and the mind in the spiritual bodies, and the heart in the spiritual bodies. This wish is we are planting, Maulana planting the divine knowledge, heavenly knowledge, secrets of the Holy Quran, is that not depending on the physical body and what they are hearing, not interested in this, because this all is going to be one day finished and be buried under the earth. They are all going to grave, and all this not going to give them any benefit to their physical body. Only they are going to meet Allah Almighty and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the malaika of the questioning only by أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدا رسول الله الله ربي والإسلام ديني وسيدنا محمد نبي ورسولي والقرآن كتاب والكعبة قبلتي والشريعة المحمدية شريعة. And the millah of Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is our millah. And this what is going to benefit the physical body only, but the spiritual body, the essence of the one of us, he will be, when this physical body is buried, then start the essence of the one, the spiritual body of the one to be, start his life. Now, the physical body life, there, when you die, the physical body die, then start the life of your essence, of your spiritual heavenly bodies, all heavenly senses and sensors in you, and that is the real life. Then you are practicing and living and continuing your ascending. After it is finished by this descending to the earth and this physical body under the grave, this stop, finish. Then you start to ascend again. We were in eternal, in no existence, only existing as a light by the existence of lights of Allah Almighty. We were descending from one heavenly station to another, heavenly godly world to another, then to the heavenly godly world dressed to seal of prophet, Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, then to the day of promises, then to the divine godly works of names, then to the divine godly works of deeds, which we now appear. And this the last station of descending in this earth, and we will be finishing it by this physical body, which is the last body to dress it, related to these descendants, and it will be from earth and going to earth, and then the heavenly body only, and the seventh heavenly body of him you are carrying, whom Allah is carrying, really, and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they start their life. And it will be the real life, and you start to be ascending. No more descending, you will be ascending. From one heavenly station to another, until the day of judgment, day of resurrection, where Allah Almighty will combine together the physical body with this essence of you and the spiritual heavenly bodies in you, and all of them then by all the means of godly powers from Allah Almighty and from Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam will continue their ascending in forever. For awliya, for complete, perfect awliya, there is no descending for them. From pre-eternal forever, as seed of Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, Allah saying in the Holy Quran, he is ascending in 2 moles or less between him and Allah Almighty from pre-eternal forever. And the same, they are inheriting the secret of Rasulullah. No more they have element of a physical body as us, but their elements of the physical body totally different. It is their elements, is the mind elements, is the elements of lights, of the heavenly realities, of the holy light, of the holy face, of the holy essence of Allah Almighty, and reflecting on the essence and reality of seed of Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, whom Rasulullah also combining these lights coming to him from Allah Almighty with his light from Allah Almighty, because the example of the light, divinely godly work of lights of Allah Almighty will be dressed, the elements will be from that ocean of lights, and this will be ascending from pre-eternal forever. There is no earthly station, there is no descending for these, there is no to be buried in grave, and only their physical body, since this is the will of Allah Almighty, and Allah wishing that everyone created even his heavenly elements, or he has like us physical elements of the earth, to have a body and to be in this world, either to be carrying the burdens of common people, of earthly people, whom they have their physical body full with burdens, with suffering, with miseries, with bala, and they are the ones appointed by Allah Almighty and Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Only they come to this earth to carry this from them, to serve them, but in the meantime they are in their ascending from pre-eternal forever, because their elements is heavenly elements, heavenly lights, combined together. La ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah, that's to them. And by this they are continue their ascending, only passing by as a guest or as a tourist. He will come to the country for a few hours and he will go. And like this, these are not like the ones whom they will be remaining and buried in this earth and to be then eaten by whatever they brought up in and raised up in their bodies from snakes, scorpions, dragons, pigs, dogs, all kinds of wild animals. We were feeding them until they will come to us in the grave from inside us, and to finish even the hair, the bones. They will not leave anything, and they will eat them. They will eat each other by each other until totally finished. At that time, everything, it will be only sand, dust. Only the one tail remain. If you open the grave, you will not smell any bad smell. But in this process, if you open the grave, you will smell very ugly smell. While if you open a grave of an awliya, you will see nice smell of paradises, smell of perfumes coming from heavenly stations dressed to the physical body if you find them. Some awliya, because they like to be like common people, keeping also their physical bodies in between the common people, also they carry from them their punishments. Some of them, they will go. They will not remain even after they are buried and covered totally. Not, let's say, second, they will be everything open for them, and they will go and continue their ascending life in the divine presence of Allah Almighty. And Allah, this is giving it as a free will to every awliya, to his saints, to his friends, that as they like, Allah will blessing already them this power. And then they will continue, the one continues ascending until the day of judgment, where Allah will combine the physical body, which was buried in the earth. Allah will survive it as it is. And we will then dress it by the heavenly essence and spiritual body of the one, and both of them, they will have now as if two wings balancing well, and they continue their ascending forever in the divine, the heavenly stations of Allah Almighty. While Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, sealed of prophets, and Sayyidina Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu anhu, Sayyidina Ali radiallahu anhu, and all their successors, they will be always there ascending in two bows or less in the divinely godly world of uniqueness of Allah Almighty. And like this, for this the awliya, they are obliged to be sitting between people to serve them, because Allah Almighty appointed them to serve people, because they are ones whom representing the godly power of Allah Almighty and the divinely power, just to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to be always in between the nation of Rasulullah and between all children of Adam alayhi salam. Why? Not only to serve them from their suffering and burdens, but to be protecting their heavenly essence, their heavenly spiritual bodies, which Allah Almighty is saying, every one of you, as he has earthly body, he has also heavenly bodies. And for this, they are the one to protect the heavenly bodies, not to be affected by the physical body, by the physical elements, by the satanic world, by the animals you are raising with you all your life, by the desires or the sexual desire, or by the following the and obeying the shaitan and obeying ones whom they only guiding you in the ways of the safe of phantom on you, or the cupboard where there is only imaginations, and they will be guiding you well in this inner mind of you, to make you feel that you are reaching everything. But in reality, as Allah saying in the Holy Quran, the one of these people, he would be like a one in desert, and the sun and the mirage of the sun show him that there is a water, and he will be very thirsty. He reached to take this water, but he will not see except sun, and he will there see Allah Almighty waiting for him to take his soul, and he will be either buried or eaten by the wild animals coming from him. And for this, they think that they are doing well and they are progressing, but it is only they are following ones whom they are well equipped and dressed by satanic teaching and ropes of shaitan, whom they are well guiding everyone in his inner safe of phantom of imagination, to make him following the wrong way, and they think he is following the right way. And they will show him that he is worshipping Allah Almighty and already reaching to Allah Almighty, but it will be only gods and statues he is worshipping, and not Allah Almighty. He is worshipping the donkey of his body, not worshipping Allah Almighty. In the time of one of the grand sheikhs, and he was a senior murid, senior deputy, senior khalif, and then he used to say has a band from the Murid showing them visions, showing them opening, that he reached so high maqam. Until once he told them, I am sitting every night with God, and I am talking with God, with Allah Almighty, and we have a very happy time, blessed time. He advising me, I am advising him also, sitting so nicely with him. These weak Murids like us, they went to the Shaykh and they told him that your Khalif, successor, senior deputy, or the one who open for him to have visions and opening, saying so and so, what? And we have nothing. What is the real thing? He said, wait, I will tell you tomorrow, after Fajr prayer. And so this grand Shaykh, his name said Abdul Khaliq al-Ujdawa, was the senior Murid. At that time, making all this problem. And because he was following a one, not from the line of Sayyidina Abdul Khaliq al-Ujdawa, not from the Sufi way, but a one who was a rope of shaitan, showing him all the station and the ways leading him into his inner mind, where the safe of phantom, of imagination, illusions in every one of us. In his mind there is a house for shaitan, and in the house you have another house of shaitan. And for this Allah Almighty, when Rasulullah was in his childhood, as a physical body, the Sayyidina Jibreel with the Malaika coming, making him unconscious to Rasulullah, cutting, taking the heart outside, opening the heart, taking this house of shaitan from his heart. And for the shaitan in his mind, Rasulullah, he said, everyone for him, Allah created a shaitan from himself, but my shaitan, I converted him to be a real Muslim. He is following me. He is under my feet. I am teaching him. I am guiding him, not he is guiding me. As nowadays we are guided by these ropes of shaitan, whom they think they are making visions for us, convincing us, because they are ropes of shaitan, psychological people and mental people and well-educated people, to show you what in your inner mind, in this safe, in this cupboard of imagination and delusions in you, the house of shaitan, to be something real existing, and to say that I am already sitting with prophets, even all the prophets, not Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam only, but all the prophets, even Sayyidina Adam, even Sayyidina Nuh, Sayyidina Ibrahim, Sayyidina Musa, Sayyidina Isa, welcoming me, welcoming them. Even I give them food also, and they are always visiting, and I am visiting them. And all awliya, they are in my door, not I am in their door. Like this, he will make the one to be convinced, and all the people following him. And all this from the inner mind, where this house of shaitan, where he is showing all this imagination. Or sometimes he'll take some of the murids of the Shaykh to be ones who misguided the murids, and so the murids, they make sujood to them, they are well convinced by them, satisfied that there are real ones, but they are only plastic ones. As you have plastic grapes, plastic banana, plastic apple, looks like the same as the original created by Allah Almighty. But this plastic, but this is the real one, give benefit to you. And for this, these ones, they, not now, but coming from time of earth, Sayyidina Adam alayhi salam, till the day of judgment going on, and nothing to be stopped, or any awliya can dare to interfere and stop it, no. And Sayyidina Abdul Khaliq al-Ujdawa, he wants to teach his murids about the senior, that don't be jealous from him, he has visions or opening as a senior deputy for me, and always allowing him to be controlling all of you. Even he is saying so, I will tell you the true story, how he is reached to be with prophets and welcoming them, and how he is sitting with his God, and how he is talking to his God and sitting with him. So Sayyidina Abdul Khaliq al-Ujdawa, After Isha prayer, he told them, my son, come. I want for barakah. I will give you a knife because I am in need. So I am in need for you and for the ear of your God. Take this knife, cut the ear of your God and your ear and bring them to me after Fajr prayer. Because I am in need for this knowledge you have. I don't have such knowledge. And the Murid said, I must obey you. You are my Shaykh. You make me to reach these high ranks. But really not the Shaykh make him, but the one who is following the rope of Shaitan is following. And so next day, as usual, after Fajr prayer, this Murid coming to pray Fajr, and in his pocket with him a huge towel where he cut the ears of his God when he was sitting in the third part of the night and talking, and prophets all coming and sitting with them, and he's talking with God, and he told, oh God, my Shaykh needs your ear. Take it, easy. How to take it? He didn't give you a knife? Yeah, he gave me a knife. A cut. He cut it. And he took the ear to the Shaykh. After Shura, they prayed the Fajr, Yasin Sharif, all what we do, the practicing which Maulana teach us. And he came to him and he gave him the towel. This is the what you asked for. And then the Shaykh in front of all the Murids, thousands, Sayyidina Luhar Dawani used to have Murids, all they pray the 5 prayers with him, not like our people now, everyone is so deeply sleeping or with their wives or with their desires, and they then say, they wake up near sunrise or after sunrise and say, still it is Maulana say, you can pray since Luhar time not yet cold, we can't pray, it's okay. It's okay. Then they put the towel and it was full with blood. And then they saw the ear of a donkey in it. Donkey. Then this Murid coming to his mind now, what a donkey? I was sitting with God. He told them, come my son, come. And all of them, they were to the stable where the donkey of Sayyidina Abu Khalid al-Dawani and the donkeys of all his Murid there. And they saw the donkey of Sayyidina Abu Khalid al-Dawani in the stable who used to be always kept aside alone, that he used to sit in the straws, the Murid, and put the donkey in front of him. And from this imagination, from this rope of Shaitan who was advising him, making him to see this donkey is the God, and he's talking with the God, and he is getting so knowledge and so high ranks that he is seeing all these donkeys around this donkey, they are the prophets, and he is sitting and welcoming them and welcoming him. And so, and the donkey was crying, screaming, blood coming from him. Then he was complaining by the tongue. His tongue can be understood by Sayyidina Abdul Khalid al-Dawani, because these big awliya, they understand the tongue of animals, like Sayyid Prophet Sulaiman alayhi salam, Allah giving them to know every tongue. And he was complaining, what if crazy Murid, senior you say, sending to me to take me a God, and then he slaughtered, and he cut my ear, look, the blood. I will complain on you in the divine presence of Allah Almighty, because you are the one to give him the knife. You don't know that he's a totally crazy, and you appoint him a senior deputy. Like I kicked him out, and all you have police all useless. Since they are searching for visions and opening, not searching to find Allah Almighty and Rasulullah and themselves, why you are keeping them? Now the donkey talking. And Sayyidina Abu Khalid al-Dawani made him to talk, and everyone to hear what he is talking. Then all of them, they cursed this senior deputy and his imagination, and then from that time he was opening the secret about this cupboard and safe of phantom in every mind, or in the inner mind of everyone, and how it made for him everything is to be really existing in his eyes and in his as a vision for him and opening, but it is really only imaginations and illusions and as a mirage, nothing real. And for this, be careful. This physical body, Allah created it for you to cheat you, nothing else. The ego in you to cheat you. The satanic world in you to cheat you. And Shaitan, Allah created him and employed him, and employed in the divine presence of Allah Almighty, is as an employee to Allah Almighty to cheat children of Adam alayhi salam, so that not to make them to find their heavenly bodies, heavenly realities, heavenly stations, and always to be in ascending in the divinely godly word of Allah Almighty. And for this, the first thing, to ascend in your, and to be dressed by your heavenly bodies, heavenly realities, which is Allah Almighty saying, I am honoring children of Adam alayhi salam, and I am carrying them in their heavenly stations and in their earthly stations. I am carrying them. Allah Almighty is carrying. Cannot anyone carry himself by himself, because we are existing by the existence of Allah Almighty, and He is the one carrying. And He is appointing seed of prophet for all prophets, for all children of Adam alayhi salam, to be representing Allah Almighty by carrying the ones in their heavenly bodies or stations or ranks and realities, and in their earthly stations, earthly body. And for this Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, I am the Lord, not I am only a prophet, but I am the Lord. What is the meaning of Lord? Lord means like Rabb, yani the one who is not only a master, but he is the one who is training and behaving and completing and perfecting everyone to present him to the divine presence of Allah Almighty as well perfected and well completed. And he said, I am the Lord of children of Adam alayhi salam and Luhar. All Adam and all his descendants, they are under my liwa, liwa al-hamd, under my liwa, under my flag, which means under my all signs referring to the divinely godly words of attributes, divinely godly words of names, divinely godly words of deeds, which Allah blessed to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and then Allah crowning him by blessing him the divinely godly word of uniqueness and the divinely godly word of oneness of Allah Almighty. And for this he said, all of them, they are under my flag, which means under these divinely godly word blessed to him by Allah Almighty. And everyone has a reality in each divinely godly word. And this is the heavenly bodies for everyone. We have a body in the divinely godly words of deeds, this one heaven in the divinely godly words of names, which Allah make it to be blessed from Rasulullah to Sayyidina Adam, when Allah Almighty saying, I am going to create a creation and all make salute to him, he is going to be given the world of names. And then the divinely godly world of attributes, you have a reality. Then you have a divinely reality in the ocean of oneness of Allah Almighty, La ilaha illallah Muhammadun Rasulullah, Muhammadun Rasulullah. And you have then a sixth heavenly reality body in La ilaha illallah. And then you will have the utmost, which Allah Almighty making the honoring the children of Adam and crowning him and honoring him between all creation, that he has a reality and a heavenly body in the ocean of ahadiyya, of uniqueness of Allah Almighty. And there is known this one to be Abdun Lillah. And for this, most of the Sahaba and Sayyidina Bilal al-Habashi, the one who called the Azan for Rasulullah, their dhikr, they used to mention the name, they didn't use as us mentioning the name Allah, 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 but what they were mentioning, Ahadun Ahad, Ahadun Ahad, Ahadun Ahad, Ahadun Ahad, because Rasulullah made them to reach this heavenly station, the reality in the uniqueness ocean of Allah Almighty. Now by detail to explain about every heavenly body as we explained the earthly body, inshallah we will continue now and after another Suhbah to in details every reality, every heavenly body of you related to the soul, to the spiritual body, but there is no house for shaitan, neither in the mind of it, neither in the heart of it, but only the house of Allah Almighty in it, in the mind of it, and in the heart of it, and the house of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and the house of Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiyallahu anhu, and the house of Sayyidina Ali radiyallahu anhu, and all their successors in the mind and in every and in the heart of every reality, until we will reach to the final stages of realities, where one reality in the divinely godly word of Muhammadur Rasulullah, and the other reality, the sixth reality, in the divinely heaven of you, which Allah carrying you in the divinely godly word of oneness, La ilaha illallah. Then the seventh reality, seventh heaven, where your reality there, you cannot say that he is or not, كأنه هو, as if he is, as if he is he, in the ocean of uniqueness, ahadiyya of Allah Almighty. May Allah forgive us and mercy us and bless us by all this divine knowledge coming from the station of Mawlana Shaykh Nazim Qaddas Allah's Grand Shaykh, and all Grand Shaykh, and Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiyallahu anhu, Sayyidina Ali radiyallahu anhu, all Sahaba, from the heart of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, blessed and reflecting to Rasulullah as a divinely godly tongue of Allah Almighty, of God, to translate the revelation of Allah Almighty to all creation. إلى شرف النبي سيدنا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وآله وصحبه، حضرة أستاذنا وأستاذ الإسلام الصديق لله تعالى الفاتحة. This is the three phase now, okay? But also finishing the seven earthly body last time, but now also mentioning, what Mawlana mentioning, about the safe in your inner mind and in your inner heart, physically, not spiritually, and how then to immigrate from this physical station, mindly and heart, to the spiritual one, and then to ascend in the seventh station in this life as a free will and choice. You are choosing this, not to be obligatory after death. For awliya, there is no such a station from free eternal forever to ascend. For us, we have the station, and so that how to finish it and to continue our ascending in this life before we will be thrown in this hole, and then it will be a very difficult time. Al-Fatiha. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. اللهم